Let's go.
Wednesday afternoon.
And the English make. So no, I'm not being political. I just say, be to anybody, try and be proud of, and as most people are, of our heritage, and sing that national anthem with a bit of feeling. I think that's good. I like to see that, and it's true to say you can see other nations. I mean, sometimes the Americans, some of them just stand there looking a bit blank, and they don't want to sing it. In most teams, you see one or two players at least, most countries, who don't want to sing their national anthem. Good luck to them. I've got no issue with that at all, unless they give a negative reason. I'm not going to sing it because I don't like that country. You say, well, what are you doing playing here then? So
that's a valid point. Right. So, did you see the England match at the weekend?
Which one was that? The women, do you mean?
Women's
the England
one,
US. Yeah, no, I didn't get to see that. No.
Right, yeah.
It was a 0-0 draw, wasn't it? So
it was. It was. Were you disappointed by the scoreline?
Yeah, I thought there may be goals. I didn't really want the US to win, of course. I wanted England to win, but I think Emma Hayes. Is very good. To be honest, I was a bit sad that she decided to leave Chelsea. I mean, she'd been there for a good few years. She'd won everything, and it looks like they could well win it again this season under the French manager. She seems very good. But yeah, I think Emma is. I think she's a proud English woman, and I like that. She's a winner, and she's making it happen, I guess, for the Americans. But yeah, on balance, you might say that any 0-0 draw in football, it's not always a boring game, but if you haven't watched it, it sounds a bit, it needed a goal or two.
Yeah.
But no, a 0-0 draw can still be an exciting game. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I knew when it was on, but I can't remember. I think I was out, so I couldn't get back on time to catch it. But yeah, I would have loved to see Emma Hayes. I'm a big fan of Emma Hayes.
She's great.
Yeah, she is.
Great.
It is an exceptional. She's an exceptional.
She's a people manager, isn't she? She's a great man manager. That's not the word, is it? But she's a great woman manager, should we say?
She's a great. And I think the Americans are very, very lucky to have her.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as they've been through some pretty bad times with their women's football team, going back a few years. They've had a few scandals with, I don't know, managers or coaches or something. I'm not attributing that to any specific person, obviously, but they have gone through some tough times, the women in the football team there. So I'm sure Emma Hayes will be making sure everything is as it should be. I'm sure she will. But yes, she's a loss to us, isn't she? She's a loss to us.
She is. Yeah. If we could have her back, we would.
She may well come back at some stage, mightn't she?
Oh,
you
never know. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
So, this is something that we've talked about previously, and it's about the match of the day. So the match of the day presenter. We know that Gary Lineker has got short, limited time to anchor the show, really. Now, it seems to me that the two that were lined up or were originally sort of in the running to take over from Gary Lineker, which is Kelly Summers and Mark Chapman?
Yeah, Mark Chapman. Yeah.
So Kelly Summers and Mark Chapman. I don't know what's happening with them, but recently, there's been a lot of other suggestions as to who would be suitable to take over. If you had to choose, if you had that job of choosing a replacement, who would your two possible replacements be? Or maybe one? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I'd go with the two replacements. I think it's because it kind of smacks of box ticking, doesn't it? You know, they've got a man and they've got a woman and everything's hunky-dory. Sometimes it might be, so you shouldn't rule it out altogether. But I don't see, if they're getting rid of Lineker,
Right.
Albeit by mutual consent or whatever,
Right.
then
Soft Emma and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday. So join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom, Dr. Glad.
of Lineker,
Right.
albeit by mutual consent or whatever,
Right.
then I think he should be replaced by one person. Now, the instinct says it should be a male. Should might not be the word. Perhaps that's only the case because of tradition. You know,
Yeah.
we've always it's always been a man, and that which in
Right.
itself is not a reason why it always should be. And I think nowadays there are some very good, excellent women who, you know, are the anchor of a football match. I mean, for me, I think Kelly Cates, who is Kenny Dalglish's daughter, I think she's superb. I mean, she's one of those people who, she's been at it a long time now, but she's so natural. The way she asks the questions of the pundits, the comments she makes. I think she's up there probably, you know, with the best of women. So I could see Kelly being, if she was interested in it, match of the day host, the person. So that would be a good choice. And there are other women equally who could probably do a similar job. But otherwise, I suppose maybe there's a tradition of it being men. And of
Right.
course, when you think about it, Match of the Day does only cover the men's game. Now, that might be a reason in itself to keep it with the male. I mean, I've actually been quite surprised now I think about it that certainly on the main Match of the Day, not on the one on Sunday, I don't think they have ever had a female pundit. I might be wrong on that, but you know, I see it some weeks. I don't always see Match of the Day. I usually see it maybe the next day on recording. But I don't. Do you ever remember seeing a woman pundit on Match of the Day?
Now that you said that, I don't remember seeing a woman pundit on.
I mean, I know that, for example, well, I can't think of her name. A very good woman presenter. Oh God, she's what's her name? Gabby Logan. I mean, she's excellent. I think she's done Match of the Day too. Actually, the more I think about it, I think she's also stood in for Lineker on occasions.
Right.
But I'm sure she has. But I don't ever remember there being female pundits. But yeah, again, maybe I suppose they played the WSL games, the women's game, on Sundays generally. So you couldn't really have Saturday Match of the Day covering their games. But no, maybe there could be a mixture of some sort, in which case, yeah, you have a man and a woman doing it. But no, I don't know who I would choose. I think if on balance, I might go for Kelly Cates, because even if it's just the men's game on a Saturday, because she's so good. She's easy on the ear and the eye for that matter, but she's very, very listenable. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a bit frustrated with just one or two commentators at football. Invariably, one or two of the men, in the sense that you think they're saying far too much information. The game's going along. We can see what's happening. Some people say they don't want a commentary, but I think it's quite good. But the best commentators are like the best refs. You don't really notice they're there, and they're not sort of making the game of what you're watching about them. And there's not many. Most of them, I think, are very good. There's certainly one or two in the past, more so, that I think they don't sort of stop talking, and you want to say, just be quiet. Let's watch the game. Don't start going off at tangents. I mean, as I say, most of these commentators I think are excellent, and you don't really notice them. But yeah, I think that's what I think about Kelly and Gabby Logan. And I've got to say, I mean, for all his political side, Gary Lineker, which again probably shouldn't be brought into football,
Yeah.
I think he's excellent at doing the match of the day. I mean, he's got a good sense of humour. He's quite witty. He comes up with these things at the end of the programme, which are kind of a witticism and make you smile. And he's laid back. He asks the pundits, you know, Alan Shearer or whoever else is there, and they give their analysis. But Gary Lineker fits that role to perfection, and he should do. He's been doing it since about 2011, is it? Something like that. He knows his stuff, and of course he was a top striker, so he's got the background to do a knowledgeable job like that. Again, I do wonder sometimes whether the BBC gets rid of people too quickly, say like Sue Barker, who used to cover Wimbledon, and also she did the programme, which I mean I had never watched for years anyway, but the programme Question of Sport, you know, she was very professional in all of that. And when the BBC often change it, no disrespect to whoever takes over these things, but often the viewing numbers plummet because it doesn't really have the same appeal to the public, to the watching public. So yeah, I think that's a risk. I don't really think the viewers' match of the day will stop, but you never know. It's a bit of it's the jewel in the crown for the BBC. Something like Match of the Day, it's very watched and all that. But that the numbers could go down if they don't get the right person or people to take over, and they might regret having got rid of Lineker, because I don't think he wanted to go. He offered to take a reduction in his salary, and they said no. They got a new young guy who I think is in his 30s, good luck to him, who's making these decisions about who can stay, who can go, not just on sport. And maybe he might be overstepping the mark a bit, but you never know. Who knows? Maybe it will continue to be good.
Right, so this is all we've got time for. You've been listening and watching the Football Referee with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And me, Trevor Gear, and I call him Cuz.
Right, so it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. Take care, bye-bye.
Family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom.